Hello everyone, it's Nick here and welcome to another one of these two-weekly vlogs that we tend to do. In the future there might be a few more of them, but the schedule is quite big at the moment with the Formula 1 blundering series and also the Random Wednesday question series 6, which takes up quite a lot of my time. If you're unfamiliar with those two series, then by all means check them out and put a comment. I'll be glad to hear from you. But this vlog is something completely different, not about those two things at all. It's about plundering the galaxy and the future of mankind. So yeah, quite not that important then really. But yeah, so planet Earth. Nice, I live there. What's all that about? Well, planet Earth, populated, or overpopulated now by humans. It has an economy based on supply and demand. Resources that are light command a high price, and resources that are everywhere aren't worth hardly anything. For example, diamonds that are used for rings and jewellery in particular, they command a higher price because they're quite rare, and so they are desirable to wear as fashion jewellery. Now, if diamonds were everywhere, as common as peanuts, then they'd be worth nothing, and equally if peanuts are extremely rare, people will probably wear those as jewellery instead. It just doesn't make sense. It's all about commercialism and making it look like you're doing well in life. In the future, I'd imagine the economy will change slightly when we've got robots doing everything, but at the moment we need to earn money, go to work in order to pay for goods, because it's all about this supply and demand chain. It's all to do with the Earth's finite resources really, but this is soon going to change. But when technology does get better, now we've got an infinite power source in the galaxy, I don't know if you notice, but there's some huge great big whacking balls of fire called suns or stars, which are basically helium changing to hydrogen and hydrogen to helium. But if you look at a size comparison to even the most basic of stars, say our own to the planet Earth, you quite often see, we'll quickly see, that the amount of energy on there could probably power us, well, forever. Probably just a day's work could power us for billions and billions of years. And at the moment we're mining fossil fuels and mining the Earth to oblivion. This can't continue really, so outside of the planet Earth is actually an untapped wealth of mining operations that could possibly be there, and minerals and everything. And the human race is only just sort of like realising this now. So the first people to get mining underway will have extreme power, which can be used for good or evil. I don't know what's going to happen. So we're at a bit of a delicate point now, because who actually owns the galaxy? Well, no one really. There's some sort of treaty amongst countries to say no one organisation owns the moon and other planets, but it doesn't say that no one can go up there ahead of everyone else and mine all the good stuff out and use it for commercial gain. Which leads me on to the real topic of this actual vlog. Now, I don't know if you saw this bit of news, but I'm always interested in space. A private firm called Moon Express have just got the go-ahead from the US government. I'm not sure of any other governments, but anyway. And it's been approved for an unmanned mission to the moon. Now this is big because this isn't a country-backed thing, this is a private firm. Their idea is it's a 2-week mission to send a small lander unmanned to the moon in late 2017. And the lander's been made by a start-up company. Yes, a start-up company that hasn't been around very long, so this is the sort of thing we're at now, called Rocket Lab. It's a brave new era for space travel, and they also plan to beam pictures back to the Earth from the moon. Now I think Bob Richards, one of the directors of this company, says he's keen to explore the possibilities of mining the moon. What? I don't know what other countries are going to say on this. For like thousands of years people have been looking up at the moon and some worshipping it as a god, seeing it's quite precious. Now it's a resource that anyone can go up there and start mining it. I'm not quite sure about this. But you know the gold rush you might have heard of in American history? Now there's going to be a moon rush where everyone's trying to get up to the moon and mine it. I think China's having an idea of getting things up there. This one, Moon Express, is the first commercial company I've heard of. But what happens if Moon Express go up there and on the first drilling expedition they actually find platinum or even precious metals? Everyone's going to be buzzing up there and it's going to be absolutely pandemonium. And quite like the Earth, the moon is going to get drilled to absolute oblivion and nothing. Although I'm scared of this, part of me is quite excited, because if the human race is going to survive, it needs to get off planet Earth. Now, I mentioned a bit about the economy beforehand, everything's finite, but if we start mining the moon, and then Mars, and then more importantly the asteroid belt, because there's more potential rocks there than the whole of the moon or any of the planets, then it's going to be that all resources are so commonplace, a bit like the heat from the sun, that nothing's going to have a value like supply and demand. I mean, I think it works out in the galaxy, if you took every human, they could have probably about 1 million suns each. So based on that, the value of the suns, or the metals, or whatever we're going at, go down to nothing. And so, because everything's worthless, it's not really worth working anymore. And that's the point where we're going to get robots controlling everything. So if you ask me, if you're alive in this era, well done. We're in a very thin band of time where we actually got to work in the first place. What do you think about that? Do you agree, or do you think I'm talking absolute rubbish? If so, comment below on your thoughts on the future. Now, Google have actually put up a prize for the first commercial trip to the moon, with people that can either land a probe there, and the prize is $20 million. So, you know, if you've got an idea, you want to put a probe on the moon yourself to get in quickly, you better speed up a bit. It's not like designing something off robot wars, which I'm a big fan of. You've got to come up with something good. So if you just got a shoebox connected to a bottle of fizzy drink shaken up as a booster, you're probably not going to win the 20 million, unless you're good at Photoshop or something, or some amazing fraud. But you should just see if China get up there before these commercial places and put some flags up. But it's going to be like a construction site up there. It takes away a bit of the mystique, I think, of this thing. What do you think about that? Should the moon be mined? Is it inevitable? It might ruin the way it looks and stuff. And what happens if a company like Coca-Cola go up there and put a big advert? So every time you go out on a clear night's day, that don't make sense, on a clear night, you look up, instead of seeing the moon, you see a big advert for Coca-Cola or something. Is nothing sacred? Is nothing precious? There'll be some undiscovered tribes in the Amazon forest look up to the moon one day and say something completely and utterly different. I think the world's coming to an end. So we've already wrecked the Earth, let's wreck the moon. I'm in two minds about this, but already as I speak about this Moon Express expedition, there's a guy called, I believe it's a guy called Elon Musk, the founder of a company called SpaceX. See, they're cropping up all over the place now. He already plans to go even further with a manned mission to Mars in 2018. It's a brand new world. So, you know, I sometimes look at stocks and shares, but I'm not into them that much. I was thinking, should I invest in any of these companies? Because if they're worth about 1p now, you can imagine how much they're going to be worth in like the future if it turns out the whole asteroid belt is heavily laden with platinum, gold, diamonds. But as I say, the share price will go up briefly, and then money might become completely and utterly irrelevant. I quite like the idea of living in a world where money is completely and utterly irrelevant. I mean, I was discussing this with someone, and they said, well, if money's irrelevant, where's the goal? What would people actually do? And now I'm getting a bit Star Trek on you. They reckon that people might stay in bed all day and do absolutely nothing, get fatter and fatter. Well, those people will gradually die out within a few generations. There'll be a shift, I think, between, instead of earning money, to like better yourself. Maybe that be education, helping others, exploring space, something like that. So the shift will change, and this era will be looked at as quite a dark era where people actually work a bit like the workhouses. Yes, so, you know, I think I've covered everything there. We're at the start of plundering the galaxy. Do you want to be involved in that? There might be a few extra jobs there in line for you. Yeah, anyway. So, yep, so that's a race to plunder the galaxy. Tell me what you think below. Do you think it's going to be hundreds of years before we get to this point? Or do you think it's going to be like next week or something? Anyway, thanks for watching the videos as always. My name is Nick. Like to hear from you. Until next time then, take good care of yourself and a very warm goodbye.
Goodbye.